everyone, this is Steve Weintraub with Collider, and I'm here at New York Comic Con with the fine folks behind Drop. How are you guys doing?
Great.
So you just came from your panel, or am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
We did just come from our panel, which was a lot of fun.
Right, so you showed the trailer. What is it like world premiering a trailer at a Comic Con like this?
It's a lot cooler than watching it at home alone reading comments.
I would say it's like pretty surreal. It's my first time doing any of those things. And so to be doing all of them in a place like this is really, really special.
It's also because you can feel the energy of movie lovers. Like that is something that you can't replace. Like it's the best energy you can find. So I think it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no, people here, I don't want to curse, but they give a F about movies.
Yes. Yeah. That's such a nice energy to be around.
100%. So we are at Comic Con, and I am curious, if you were to walk around on the convention floor, which you might be doing, what would you buy? Is there anything that you collect?
I have to be honest and say I don't collect anything. And I recently was thinking about it because I feel like I should find something to collect to then pass down to someone or something. Do you collect stuff?
I used to collect a lot, and I have really worked on myself to stop collecting.
Wow. I see.
I used to collect bad relationships. That was my superpower. But now I try and find, no, truth be told, like if I go down there, which I might, I really like to just get stuff for my kids.
Sure.
You know, because I'm trying to shape their minds and their tastes. And I keep asking my husband, like, for example, every year, can they see The Exorcist now? And he's like, they're 4. No. And I'm like, what? So
you ask him again 3 months later.
There's things we're working on, but they've seen like Gremlins and Beetlejuice, and so yeah, like they would lose their minds here.
Of
no,
course.
they will lose. Yeah. Eventually, you'll take them to San Diego Comic Con, and they will, you know. But anyway, jumping into the movie. So everyone watching this will have not seen it yet, or seen. I don't think they'll have seen the trailer yet. So how have you been describing the film to like friends and family?
Come on, you're really good at it.
Oh, I don't know if, okay. So
that was a hard sell.
Okay.
You're like, okay. Let me do it. Drop is about a single mom who goes on a date. It's her first date in a while. And she goes to this fancy high-rise restaurant in Chicago, and she starts getting AirDrops from someone in the room. And they're kind of sort of funny, weird memes. But they start to turn a bit sinister. And then she finally gets one that says, check your security cameras. And she realizes that her son and her sister are being held hostage by an armed and dangerous man in her house. And she has to do some bad shit to get them out.
This is why I don't have AirDrop on my phone. This is the reason.
You're smart.
Smart.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Contacts only or just completely off?
It's just off until I turn it on when someone wants to send me something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's smart.
Anyway, what was it? So I'm always curious, what is it like reading a script for the first time like this? How much were you told about the story, and how much is it like your agent or you're hearing like, don't read, you know, like how much do you get told before actually reading the script?
Usually not very much. In this case, it was just that everyone had read it and loved it. So they were very excited to pass it along to me. And my experience was just I sat down and could not stop reading it until it was finished because I had to know what was going to happen, and I didn't figure it out on my own, which is like something that anybody would probably try to do. It's like when you watch a murder mystery show and you're like trying to put together the pieces. I was doing that with the script and I just couldn't do it. So that was a pretty special experience because that does not happen all that often.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of not knowing the answer.
Yeah.
You know, we all see too many movies. So it's like when you can actually get to the end and not know.
Yeah, it's so refreshing, right?
Oh, yes.
To not be able to be ahead of the film.
100%. So I want to know, where are you in the editing process right now?
I am done.
Oh, so my question is, with a movie like this, it's all about when you give the audience information or no info, you know what I mean? Like that line. So what was it like screening the movie for friends and family? What'd you learn from those early screenings?
You know, it's funny because in the past, you know, I've had to make I think naturally you make adjustments or you have to sort of fine tune or figure new things out. And in some cases there's reshoots or whatever. This was a very tightly wound machine. Like it's very tightly constructed. And so there was not a lot to learn, which was kind of weird. It was like a career first for me where like I kind of came out of that first screening with very tiny bits of like, maybe you could tighten it up here and there, but otherwise it was like, it's the same movie. And there were no reshoots. There were no, like, it was pretty fast.
Well, first of all, congrats, because
Thanks.
That does not happen.
It will probably never happen again.
Yeah, like, I mean, also that probably is a sign that the script was really good.
Yeah.
Because, So you see the shooting schedule and you know what's coming up. What day did you have circled in terms of, I cannot wait to film this? And what day was like, how the F are we going to film this?
Oh man, how do I tell you without telling you? I knew the whole shoot was going to be really intense just because there are very few moments of the film where you don't see Violet. And I think I had one day off and it was in the first week. It was like one of the first few days of shooting. And I was like, well, there we go. So every day was a different kind of challenge. I will say that there were some stunts in the film, and it was my first time doing that kind of thing. So I was really, really excited about that. But that was hard too in a new way. So I don't know. I think actually that's what I loved about the film, though, is that every day showing up, there was a new challenge to kind of dive into, something new to learn, something new to feel. The stakes being as high as they were the whole time is like also something that is a challenging component of it. But I do feel ultimately really lucky that every single day there was something cool and new that we were going to do.
I'm curious. I don't know. Is it PG-13 or R?
It's PG-13.
So what were you able to get away with certain things with that rating, or did you have any sort of battle with the MPAA?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. There was a battle. The movie was rated R on our first pass. But the nice thing was, like, we knew we were on the edge of it. You know, we got the R rating because the movie is very intense. And so it just took some massaging and some conversations to get us down to the PG-13 where we all knew we should be, because it is that kind of a movie. There's nothing in this movie that screams R, but there's a real intensity to it.
Also, sometimes shaving off like 6 frames can get you a better rating.
That's basically what we did.
Was it 6 frames or more like 12?
Just depends on. There were a couple of those. There were a couple of those in there that we had to kind of shave some stuff off of, or reduce the amount of blood that was in the shot.
I understand.
Yeah.
And I can imagine as a filmmaker, it's a little bit like, oh my God, I love this shot and I want this blood, but I also want this to be seen by more people.
Yeah. I mean, I think I didn't even feel that way, because I didn't have to make any kind of creative sacrifice to get down to that rating. That's how like razor's edge we were.
Sure.
So, in the end, I felt very okay about that. It wasn't like I had set out to make some like gruesome R-rated movie. It wasn't like Freaky, where it's like if they come and said make it PG-13, like that would have sucked. So this was okay.
No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Before I run out of time, you shot or wrapped on Sirens with Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
So what the hell was that like?
It was pretty surreal. I've loved her for a very long time. I got to work with some really incredible people too. Bill Camp, who I think is just an American treasure. I love that man. So it was a very cool experience for sure. And tonally, it was really interesting too, because it's sort of darkly comedic with elements of sort of, I wouldn't say fantasy, but kind of surrealism. So all three of those things mixed together made for a really, really fun shoot.
Can you say who you play, what it's about real quick?
My character's name is Devin. I play the older sister of Millie Alcock, who is a live-in assistant of Julianne Moore's character. And she's this sort of like ethereal, rich lady. More of that for me. And I basically roll up to try to convince my sister to come home to Buffalo with me. And she's not having that. So the show kind of takes off from there.
I will leave it there and say I really can't wait to see the movie. And thank you so much for coming in. And I hope you walk around the floor at least a little.
Thanks
so much for having us.